Hi guys, my name is Laura Bishler and I'm going to be giving you my persuasive speech today. Who doesn't love an adorable puppy or a kitten? Our fur babies are our best friends, our animals. We treat them as if they are our own children or as human beings. I'm going to be talking to you today about the benefits of adopting an animal from a shelter as opposed to paying money to get an animal from a breeder. According to OneGreenPlanet.org, they stated, while there are maybe breeders that take precautions to avoid inbreeding, which often leads to significant health issues, and are selective with the dogs they do breed, making sure they raise them in loving environments, there is no definitive rule that guarantees these animals won't suffer from health issues or behavioral problems later on or earlier later on in their lives. Purchasing an animal from a breeder causes issues, and this is not something that a responsible person should be doing. According to PETA.org, as long as dogs and cats are dying in animal shelters and pounds because of lack of homes, no breeding can be considered responsible. Shelters are full of animals suffering because of overpopulation. This isn't fair to them. They didn't do anything to deserve this. Helping Hands Humane Society posted on their website at hhhstopeka.org the top 10 reasons why you should adopt from a shelter. 1, you save a life. 2, you help break the cycle of pet overpopulation. 3, you help stop cruelty in mass breeding facilities. 4, you can take advantage of adopting an animal. 5, you get a lifetime resource with a shelter employee and volunteers. 6, you choose from a great selection of animals. 7, you adopt a pet who has received good care. 8, you support a valuable charity and community institution. 9, you pay less. And 10, you encourage others to adopt animals from shelters. There are many organizations out there that are taking leaps and bounds to help out in these situations with the puppy mills and the overbreeding. All these animals are getting placed into these shelters and they shouldn't be. Rescuing animals in poor conditions is some of the goals that these organizations have taken. In the International Society for Animal Rights has made it a goal to stop overbreeding. The animals on their website, isaronline.org, they state, for decades, most shelters have been at capacity, with routine, ever-ending euthanasia the rule rather than the expectation. Indeed, the Humane Society of the United States has reported that between 6 and 8 million dogs and cats enter shelters each year, and over half of them are euthanized. How is this fair? This just doesn't seem right to me. They're animals that are just so loving, and if you think about adopting, you should find the pros and cons of getting an animal from a breeder as opposed to a shelter. Some of the pros and cons from a breeder is you get a purebred animal, unsure of health issues that this animal might have or develop later in life, and you pay thousands of dollars for this puppy. If you adopt from a shelter, you get the choice of many breeds. There are so many purebred animals in shelters, and the animals that I have, I've only adopted from shelters. My 2 dogs. Chloe dog is a purebred German Shepherd. We got her when she was about 3 years old, and we actually just adopted her in January, and she's been the best dog. And our Mason dog, he is a mixed breed, but he is the most loving dog I've ever had, and he's very, very sweet, getting kind of old. But healthy animals come from shelter. You only pay $100, and that pays for the pets to get spayed or neutered. It pays for their microchips, and it pays for their shots. So to me, I'll let you, I know what I would choose. I'll let you decide on those pros and cons on which you would rather get, from a breeder where you pay thousands of dollars, or from a shelter where you can pay $100 and get all these benefits for life for your animal. According to the humanesociety.org, on their front page, it gives you reasons why adoption is the best. One of the reasons is because you can save a life. Who doesn't want to save a life of an animal? I know I do. I'm going to leave you with some information from the ASPCA. If you go to the ASPCA.org, they can answer questions you might have about adopting, like which pet is right for you, and preparing your home for a new cat or dog. And these are helpful tips that can help anybody in preparing to bring a new animal into their lives. In conclusion, I want to talk about adoption, and if it's not for you, there are other options. You can volunteer, and you can also foster an animal. And what that is you bring an animal into your home for a short amount of time until it finds its forever home, and you just get it out of the shelter so it has a loving environment. But if all this information is helpful to you, and you can see why the reason I would choose adoption over getting an animal for a breeder, it's just better overall. But I hope that you see my point of view in this, and thank you for listening to my persuasive speech.